Welcome back, guys. I'm going to go through our book and manga finds for the past month. A lot of great stuff at Goodwill, and I think it's about it. I don't think we found anything at yard sales, just Goodwill and one really cool find at Ollie's Bargain Outlet that was completely unexpected. Starting with manga, a nice stack here of manga. You can see everything we got there. Really good stuff. Most of it was the 25 to 50 cent a piece range. I think one or two of the dot hack were they're at the were $2. So I had a couple of those a little bit more there, but some really good finds as far as manga goes that month. Dot hack stuff I seem to find a lot of for some reason. Not the games, sadly, the stuff that keeps going up in value, but a lot of the manga and DVDs and things I tend to stumble upon at things like Goodwill and yard sales. For books, we found some cool fantasy here. My wife really likes a lot of stuff published by Firebird Fantasy, and we found Fire, which is, I think, second book? No, the first book in duology, I believe. My wife's more into that. But it looks pretty interesting. I've read a couple books that she recommended to me from Firebird Fantasy, and I'm really liking some of the authors there that I've not seen with other publishers. So kind of a neat find there. Some older fantasy here. Just love the cover on that. Look at that one. Beautiful artwork. I really like a lot of the fantasy and science fiction books from the late 70s, we'll say, to about mid-90s-ish. I really like a lot of the cover art. Now it seems to be, I don't know, a lot of it looks like it's photoshopped real people with a fantasy element rather than this beautiful hand-painted stuff. And maybe it's growing up with like Keith Parkinson and stuff, but I really love that. Thieves' World, another cool-looking cover here. More R.A. Salvatore, which is always good to add. The Demon Awakens. This one I've never heard of. Black Trillium. This one looks pretty interesting here. And another one for the Star Wars book collection, Rebel Stand. And this one I was really excited for. It looks really cool. It's a hardback collection of the kids' versions of the novelizations of the Indiana Jones movies, the original trilogy. And this is really cool. I really like that. This was another 25 to 50 cent Goodwill find during the month, so that was pretty cool for that. And 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I believe we have a copy of this in another form, but I've actually always really liked these Barnes & Noble classics. It's kind of a weird thing, but a lot of them have really nice cover art, and they're in really good shape here. I like those printings of some of the classics. We also found two more here. My wife is a big fan of Clifford the Red Dog. She grew up watching and reading everything related to the Big Red Dog, so we found another one to add to the collection for kids' books here. And one last thing that was a Goodwill find, we found Witches and Witch Hunts, which is more of a young reader look at the history of witchcraft. The coolest find, though, by far, for me, was that odd thing we found at Ollie's Bargain Outlet. And we tend to go in there every once in a while when we're near the mall just to check it out. Usually don't find much of anything, but occasionally they get a lot of stuff. They get wholesale things. They get things that weren't selling at stores that you get overstocked, it's shoved over there and really cheap prices. And sometimes you find some cool stuff. And for $2 a piece, we found Farscape comics, and we both really like Farscape. I absolutely love Farscape, one of my top 10 shows of all time. And the first two we found were actually hardback, so that was really cool. Beautiful artwork, really like Farscape. And we found one that was a soft cover. Still really cool. I couldn't believe for $2 a piece, those are really cool to add to the collection. I've never read the comics before for Farscape, so I'm really excited to find those. Really interesting find, a lot of cool stuff. What did you guys add this month to your manga or book collections? Have you been reading anything interesting? And next video, I'm going to go over some movies and kind of really interesting oddities we found over the month that aren't book or game related.